Welcome back. There's a new study that was done by a large financial company called Women, Money, and Power. Please welcome back financial advisor Tony Gentile from the Gentile Company to tell us about this study. We already like this study.
Thank you for having me.
What did they discover?
A study, and they discovered that women more and more are gaining power. They're becoming women of influence.
Oh.
It was very interesting. It was done by Allianz. Allianz literally manages about $2 trillion for several million people and institutions. And you all basically end up with all the money.
Thank you.
That's very good to know.
I like this study.
Yes. It's very true.
What did they learn? How do women get this money?
Well, a lot of women, because they live so much longer, they basically inherit the money through death or divorce. And it brings me to another point. Women really need to plan to live longer because you all live into the 90s.
Well, I'm 76. How long do I need to plan for?
At least 20 more years.
Wow.
Very good. Very good.
She likes that answer.
Yes.
But that's going to cost a lot.
I was going to say, since women do live longer and we need to be able to plan like that, how do you know how to allocate the pot to make it stretch?
Yeah. So you'd spend so much a year if you know you've got 20 years left?
Well, the thing is, you have to plan. If you're doing your financial planning, you have to plan to live well into your 90s. And a lot of people don't do that. The sad fact is that many women don't plan at all. They spend more time planning their vacation. I know this sounds incredible, but they spend more time planning their vacation than they do their financial life. And it's really very important because women do in fact live longer. Women have all the money, and it's just important that you plan to live a long life.
And does it matter if you're married or single?
Well, that was the other amazing fact about the study, is that more women today are single and divorced than ever before in history.
Yeah. So they're getting into their old age, and
and they decide not to remarry or whatever.
Yeah. That's me. I'm a widow. I'm not going to remarry. How about if you're single and you don't have any kids?
Well, that's one of the concerns in that regard, is that a lot of women are saying, well, who's going to take care of me? And you don't want to end up in a nursing home, so there are some ways to plan for that you could at least have the nurse come to your house. I tell my wife that it'd be nice to have a nurse come to the house. I don't want to be in a nursing home.
Exactly. I do have kids, and I don't want them to have to take care of me, but I don't want to go to a nursing home either.
Then you need to
How do you plan for that? There are ways to work that out?
There are ways to plan for that. A lot of companies are out of that market now. There used to be several companies in the long-term care insurance market, but they could not price the product right. So now they have products where they would act just like a CD. You would invest money. For example, you'd put $50,000 in, and then if you did become sick and had to be in a nursing home or needed nursing care at your house, that $50,000 becomes a $150,000 insurance policy. But in the meantime, you make 3% interest, which is better than a bank.
The old ways were just too expensive.
Well, exactly, and that's why people didn't have it. People would spend $4,000 a year and for 20 years and say, geez, I've spent $80,000, and luckily I'm going to be in that 20-something%, and I won't ever need it. And that's really what the statistics are telling us, that people 65 and over, 72% need long-term care.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's sad but true.
It's a blessing and a curse. I mean, we're so excited to be living longer, and I know we all look forward to life into our 90s, but it's really expensive.
It is very expensive.
And we don't want to just sit. We want to be able to do things. But if you can't afford to do things, then life does get to the point where it's not worth living.
And the cost in Florida is scary. I want to say it's $85,000 a year.
Whoa.
That's what I heard.
The average stay is 3.5 years.
Oh, my goodness.
So I'd much rather have them come to my house.
Oh, yes. Any other trends in that story about money and power?
Well, no. Again, it just goes back to the women end up with all the money. And
that's so good to know.
I like that.
And you just have to plan, because you're going to end up living
You're going to end up
a long
without
time.
money, but you end up without any.
You're going to end up living a long time.
Something else that seems to be happening, too, is that, we talk about where our money goes as first of all, financing your kids' college and all that has gotten expensive. But then we're talking about this boomerang trend where they show up back home again. So I've got a pot that I'm ready to start contributing for retirement, but what if my kids land back with me?
That's a good point. It's funny. That was one of the other trends, is that many women today end up where a son or daughter will come back and live. My son is actually 24, has a good job. He lives with his mom, and his girlfriend is okay with it.
It lasts longer that way.
Well, does that thing with the sandwich generation, too, where the parents come back and the children?
No.
So work with your financial financial advisor. Is that the bottom line?
Gentile.com. Get all the
Gentileco.com. Gentileco.com.
Thank you.
And we'll be back in the kitchen with the roast.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tony. You did a great job.